MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. The station that pays.
This is MC Reggie Fresh on the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show, and she's coming to you from South Carolina. We got Tricia, Ladi, Barber. She's in the building. What's going on, Miss Ladi?
What's up? How you doing, Reggie?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
All right now.
We got the best. We got the best profession in the world.
The best profession, the only profession that you can go to work broke and come home with money in the same day.
You better believe it. You you know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about my job. You can, especially you got to be a people person, but what I'm saying, you get to make people feel special and happy, especially when after they get their nice haircut. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You can change a person's whole day.
Change their whole day. You already know. Now, how long you been cutting?
I've been cutting about 8 years.
Okay. Now, what made you want to become a barber?
I was working for the state. I've always cut hair like at home, but I was working for the state, got laid off, and I said, this is the perfect opportunity for me to take this time and go and get this profession. And I went to somebody that I respected in the industry,
right,
expecting some support and encouraging words, and what he said to me was, you can't do that. So quite naturally now I got to prove to you that I can. And I went and got my license, went to school, got my license. And when I graduated and went to a shop, he actually called me and asked me if I wanted to come and work in his shop.
No.
And I said, no, thank you, I'm good.
You good. See, that goes to show that, people don't understand. You ain't such thing as can't. Ain't such thing as can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You have to let can't be your motivator.
You got to let can't be your motivator. You already know, young lady. Hey, that's outstanding right there. I like that. Now, let me ask you this. What would you do? What kind of advice would you give to the upcoming barbers who want to be barbers, whether they're in school or they ain't even licensed yet? What would be the first thing you advise them to do?
Well, the first thing I would advise is take that time, invest in yourself, and get that license. It opens up so many more doors for you.
Right.
And, once you get that license, it's a continually invest in yourself and get that education. Whether you're watching YouTube videos, whether you're connecting with other barbers and getting knowledge from them, because there's always somebody that knows more than you know, no matter how good you cut. And, the last thing is, because it is a people business, you have to stay humble.
Yes.
You have to stay humble.
And you definitely got to be a people's person.
Yes.
Now check this out. Now, when it comes to barbering, we're going to talk about the good side, because everything got a downside to it, but all in all, it's very good. Basically, what I'm saying is what they will have, what kind of stuff they're going to run into. And I know you experienced it too. When you get in the shop, you're going to run into barbers hogging the door. Some people don't like each other. This is the things that shouldn't go on in barbershops, especially if you're a good owner. You shouldn't allow that. But them are the things that are going to happen. So what would you tell them to adapt to that kind of stuff?
Well, one thing I know it from both sides. I had my own shop, and I think you as an owner, have to control your shop.
Exactly.
Before any barber comes in your shop, there needs to be a conversation had, and you need to be very clear about what you will and will not allow in your shop and hold people to that.
There you go.
On the other side of that, going into somebody's shop, you still need to do the same thing. Respect the shop, respect the owner, and abide by whatever guidelines is set.
Exactly.
I work right. The shop I work in now, it's me and 3 other guys.
Right.
And we all have the same type of attitude. We laugh, we joke, we have deep conversations. But the bottom line is we respect each other.
And that's what it's all about. So yeah, that's a very good advice right there. Now, check this out. Now, most barbers all over the world, especially if they listening to this segment right now, we all call what they call barbers the dope shop, because most barbers are labeled as dope dealers, which is ridiculous. But sometimes you give people that reason to do that. But this is a job. This is just like any other job. Cause we don't clock on the clock, time, punch a clock don't mean this not a job. We make people
Right.
sharp every day. So, let's try to make that clear that most barbers are not. Some barbers are not dope dealers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
We're trying to do the same thing that they're doing. We're trying to take care of our family, and pay our bills and live a good life.
exactly.
I think what a lot of people don't understand, you go to your job, you got paid vacations and sick days and all these other things. We don't have that. We have to take care of that ourselves.
Exactly.
So it really kind of pisses me off when they downplay what we do.
Exactly.
We got to deal with your attitude. We got to deal with your head. We got to make sure you're happy on top of everything else that we have to do.
Exactly.
We have to make sure that we make the money that we need to cover our bills. You go to work, you're guaranteed a check.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not guaranteed I'm going to make the same thing every week.
Exactly.
So, we're just trying to do the same thing you do.
Exactly. But see, the good thing about it, though, our money can be unlimited, and that's why it's so important to sit still, get out there and get them cards out, advertise,
Exactly.
and we can make a lot of money.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
Yeah. But then let me ask you this: what's the name of your shop? How can you be reached, and what do you specialize in?
Well, I closed my shop.
Well, okay. The
I
shop
take
that you work in, then
I take care of my mother. She's 106 years old.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
I want to be closer to my mother. So the shop I work in now is Centric Root. It's here in Greenwood at 323 North Emerald Road.
Okay.
My number is 864-337-1523. And I think the advantage I have over the guys in the shop as a woman barber, I pamper my guys a little bit more.
Exactly. You hear that, lady barbers? All you lady barbers out there, y'all hear what she said now?
I mean, being a lady barber is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because it seems like we have to prove ourselves twice as much as the guys that cut next to us.
Right.
Especially when you go into a new shop. I know my first couple of weeks I was like, Lord, what have I done? But, they had to see me do me. And then when they saw what I did and all the little extra touches they got, things switched up. So,
Okay, but look, check this out, though. Check this out. By you being a female, a lot of guys I know are getting a female chick.
That's the other thing with barbering, and I think it goes not only from the prices to the services.
Right.
You have to realize what area you're in, because I see guys on Facebook all the time going back and forth about if you're charging this, you ain't charging enough. You need to be charging that.
Yeah.
You can't dictate that because of the region that people are in.
Yeah.
Down here in the South, men, the first thing they say, well, I ain't never had no woman cut my hair.
Yeah.
So they have to try you.
I got you. Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
We have to be sensitive to the area you're in.
Okay. Hey, Lady Barber. So now I want to know. I appreciate you being on my show. It's been great talking to you. Very nice that you
Thank
came.
you.
Now I want to ask you, do you got any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
I just want to give a shout out to all the barbers, ladies, guys, doing your thing. I see guys on Facebook. Jermaine Walker is one of my favorite barbers. Ivan. I see all you guys, and just mad respect to all barbers everywhere.
Okay, and another thing I want to ask you, we're going to go back to where you located. You done gave us that information. Tell us what you specialize in.
I specialize in meat.
Okay, then. I mean, what kind of cuts you do and stuff?
I mean, I can do what you need. And that's the importance of elevating yourself and keeping yourself knowledgeable. And you have to learn it's okay to say, I can't do this. I'm lucky because one of the guys that cut next to me is Hispanic.
Right.
And the boy is bad.
Okay.
And I had a problem with Asian hair.
Yeah.
I'm not too high that I don't go to him and say, look, let me watch you. Let me show me how you doing this.
Right, right. There you go. You are information. You spun. You want to suck up all that information.
That's right. That's right. So you have to humble yourself and be able to do that.
All right,
So
then.
now I've opened myself up to, a whole other clientele by humbling myself and being able to go to this guy and say, look, show me this. How do you do this? How do you do this transition or whatever?
Well, you know what?
So,
That's a good point you got there. That's a great point, because when cutting in shops, when you just cut one type of people's hair, I work on an army post, right, where I get everybody. So now I can go to any shop and cut anybody's haircut. I mean, give anybody a haircut.
Right.
So that's the good thing.
Right.
Okay, Lady T, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this last question. Could you please tell me what's the baddest station in the land and the baddest station that pays?
Man, you already know it's the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show.
That's what I'm talking about. And there you have it. She's coming to you from the South Carolina area. That's Miss Tricia, Lady Barber, on the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show.
This is the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. The station that pays.